Welcome to all. Now we are going to see the salient features of the Indian Constitution. The Indian Constitution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on 26th November 1949 and came into force on 26th January 1950. Is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the father of our Indian Constitution. He is also known as Modern Manu. The Constitution of India was handwritten and calligraphed both in English and Hindi. The Indian Constitution is called the bag of borrowings. B.R. Ambedkar had a major role to play in the formulation of the Indian Constitution. It's the longest written constitution, containing 447 articles and 12 schedules. Originally 395 articles, later it was increased. The present constitution consists of the following: the preamble, then 25 parts, then schedules 1 to 12. Now let us see the preamble. It can be considered as the soul of our constitution. It's just a prelude to the constitution. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. The Constitution provides for a parliamentary form of government. The President is the nominal head, the Prime Minister is the real head. A federal polity with a unitary bias, the division of powers between the center and the state. There are three lists: the union list, state list and the concurrent list. Single citizenship. Citizens belong to the Indian Union and not to any state. That is, we are all Indians. More flexible than rigid. The Parliament has been given the power to alter or modify, that is, amend many of the provisions of the Constitution by a simple majority. Universal adult franchise. This is one of the most revolutionary aspects of Indian democracy. 18 years of age can vote in the election. The provision of fundamental rights. The fundamental rights consist of the right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, and the right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational right, and finally, the most important, the right to constitutional remedies that makes the enjoyment of other rights real and enforceable. Directive principles of state policy. They are instructions or directives from the Constitution to the state and the government. It's the duty of the government to implement them. Originally, there were 20 directive principles. There should not be concentration of wealth and means of production to the detriment of common men. There should be equal pay for equal work for both men and women. Workers should be paid adequate wage. Weaker sections of the people, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people should be given special care. The state should promote respect for international law and international peace. In general, the relative principles aims at building a welfare state. Fundamental duties: to abide by the Constitution and respect the ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. To uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. To defend the country and render national service. To protect and improve the natural environment. To safeguard public property and to adjure violence. Protection of minorities. The Constitution has provided for a system of reservation of seats for cultural minorities in all spheres of life. This is, however, a temporary provision, and it has been mentioned in the Constitution that As soon as it is felt that these minorities have come at par with other sections of society, this reservation will cease to exist. It provides bicameral legislature, the Council of States, the Council of People. The Council of States, the upper house, and House of People, lower house. Provision for autonomous organizations, Election Commission, Supreme Court, these are the autonomous organization. Emergency provisions. Constitution provides emergency provisions also. There are three types of emergencies: central emergency, state emergency, and financial emergency. Conclusion: a democratic country needs a constitution because it tells us the fundamental nature of our society. It defines the nature of country's political system. Thank you.